Alma Thompson sat at the head of the long oak dining table in her son Jack's cozy Nashville home, the scent of roasted turkey and sweet potato casserole filling the air. It was Christmas Eve, 2024, and the twinkling lights from the tree cast a warm glow over the room. At 73, Alma still carried herself with the grace of her younger days, her silver hair pulled into a neat bun, her eyes sparkling with the joy of the season. She had always loved Christmas, the carols, the laughter, the sense of family. But tonight, something felt off. Jack and his wife Sarah exchanged glances that Alma couldn't quite read, and her grandchildren, 8-year-old Lily and 10-year-old Max, fidgeted with excitement, whispering secrets behind their hands. "Grandma Alma, we have a special gift for you," Lily squealed, her pigtails bouncing, as she handed over a brightly wrapped envelope. Sarah smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes, those sharp, calculating eyes that had grown colder over the years. Alma's heart swelled. "Oh, darlings, you shouldn't have, but let's see what it is." She tore open the envelope with trembling fingers, pulling out a folded piece of paper designed to look like an official document. The header read, "Eviction Notice," in bold red letters. Her smile faltered as she read aloud, her voice steady at first. "Dear Alma Thompson, this notice serves to inform you that your tenancy as family burden has been terminated effective immediately. Reasons include excessive presence, outdated advice, and general interference in modern family life. You are hereby evicted from our daily routines. Please vacate the premises of our patients and find alternative accommodations, preferably a senior living facility far, far away. Signed, your loving family." The room erupted in laughter. Jack slapped his knee, chuckling deeply. Sarah covered her mouth, her shoulders shaking. Even the kids giggled, though Alma could see confusion in their eyes. They were too young to fully grasp the cruelty. Alma's face burned, her cheeks flushing as tears pricked at the corners of her eyes. She forced a laugh, but it came out hollow, like an echo in an empty hall.
"It's just a joke, Mom," Jack said, wiping a tear from his eye. "We thought it'd be funny, with how you're always around." Sarah nodded vigorously. "Yeah, Alma, lighten up. It's Christmas. We love having you here. Sometimes." The "sometimes" hung in the air like a dagger. Alma folded the paper carefully, tucking it back into the envelope. "Of course, dears. Just a joke." But inside, her world shattered. She excused herself to the bathroom, where she splashed cold water on her face and stared at her reflection. The lines around her eyes, the slight stoop in her shoulders, they weren't from age alone. They were from years of carrying a family that had forgotten how to carry her. That night, back in her modest one-bedroom apartment on the outskirts of Nashville, Alma couldn't sleep. The eviction notice lay on her nightstand, mocking her. She had given everything to Jack and Sarah. Her time, her money, her heart. And this was how they repaid her? As the clock ticked past midnight, something stirred in her, a fire long dormant. It was time to awaken the woman she had buried beneath layers of self-sacrifice. Alma's mind drifted back to the beginning, to the days when she was more than just grandma. Born in 1951 in a small Tennessee town, Alma had always had music in her soul. By her early 20s, she was a backup singer in Nashville's bustling scene, her voice blending seamlessly with legends like Dolly Parton and Johnny Cash during studio sessions. She wasn't a star, but she was respected, a session musician with a golden tone that could elevate any track. In 1975, at 25, she met Robert, a guitarist who swept her off her feet. They married quickly, and soon Jack arrived, a bundle of joy that changed everything. But life wasn't a fairy tale. Robert died in a car accident when Jack was just 5, leaving Alma a widow with a toddler and mounting bills. She could have chased her music dreams harder, but motherhood came first. She took odd jobs, waitressing at honky-tonks and teaching piano lessons to keep food on the table. Yet, she never fully let go of her passion. In 1978, with a small inheritance from her aunt, she bought a rundown music studio on the edge of town. It was her secret haven, a place where she recorded demos and rented space to up-and-coming artists. Over the decades, as Nashville boomed into Music City, the studio's value skyrocketed. She kept it quiet, renting it out through a management company, letting the profits accumulate in a hidden account. Her family knew nothing of it. To them, she was just a simple widow living on Social Security and occasional gigs. Jack grew up idolizing his mother at first. "You're my hero, Mom," he'd say, hugging her after she worked double shifts to buy him new sneakers. When he was 18, Alma sold some of her vintage records to fund his community college tuition. "I want you to be something, Jack," she'd whisper. He studied business, met Sarah, a sharp-witted nurse with ambitions, and they married in 2005. Alma paid for half the wedding, $10,000 scraped together from her studio rentals. "It's your special day," she said, beaming as they cut the cake. The grandkids came soon after. Lily and Max were the lights of Alma's life. When Sarah returned to work after maternity leave, Alma became the default babysitter. babysitter. Every morning at 6 a.m., she'd drive across town, rain or shine, to their suburban home. She'd make breakfast, pancakes shaped like snowmen, pack lunches, and shuttle them to school. Afternoons were filled with park visits, story time, and homemade cookies. "I don't know what we'd do without you, Alma," Sarah would say in those early days, hugging her tightly. But gratitude faded. As Jack's career in real estate hit rough patches, especially during the 2008 recession, Alma stepped in. She started sending $300 a month to help with rent, just until things stabilized, Jack promised. When their car broke down in 2012, she covered the $3,000 repair bill. "Family helps family," she'd say. The kids' dance lessons, $500 a year from Alma. Summer camps, another $1,000. She remortgaged her apartment to give them a $20,000 down payment on their house in 2015. "I want you to have roots," she told them. Yet, the more she gave, the less they appreciated. Subtle digs began. "Mom, you're great with the kids, but maybe don't give them so much sugar," Sarah would snap. Jack would roll his eyes when Alma shared stories from her music days. "That was ages ago, Mom. Things are different now." Invitations dwindled. Last Easter, she arrived unannounced with baskets of treats, only to find them hosting Sarah's family without her. "Oh, we forgot to call," Jack mumbled. The financial drain continued. In 2020, during the pandemic, Jack lost clients. Alma upped her support to $500 a month, dipping into her studio fund. She paid for Max's orthodontist, $4,000, and Lily's piano lessons, $800, even though it meant skipping her own doctor's visits. "You're an angel, Mom," Jack said once, but it felt rote, like a script. 6 months ago, Alma overheard a conversation that chilled her. While babysitting, she stepped onto the porch and heard Sarah on the phone. "Jack's mom is sweet, but she's always here. We need space. Maybe suggest a retirement community?" She's getting forgetful anyway. Forgetful? Alma, who could still recall every lyric from her 1970 sessions, it stung deeper than any wound. And now, the Christmas joke. As dawn broke, Alma rose with purpose. She pulled out an old wooden box from under her bed, filled with deeds, bank statements, and faded photos from her singing days. The studio, now worth over $500,000 in Nashville's hot market, had generated $300,000 in untouched savings. They thought she was poor, dependent. They were wrong. It was time to reclaim her life. Alma spent the next day in quiet reflection, sipping tea in her sunlit kitchen. The eviction notice fueled her resolve. By evening, she had a plan. First, she called her real estate agent, an old friend from the music scene. "Sell the studio, Evelyn. Highest bidder." The offer came quickly. $550,000. She accepted, the funds wiring into her account within weeks. Next, she researched Asheville, North Carolina, a vibrant artist haven in the Blue Ridge Mountains, just a few hours drive east, known for its music festivals, galleries, and bohemian spirit. It called to her like a long-lost melody. She found a charming cottage in the River Arts District for $250,000, with a garden and a small recording nook. "This is my new beginning," she whispered as she signed the papers virtually. But before leaving, she needed closure. Alma sat at her desk, pen in hand, and wrote 2 letters. "To Jack, my dear son, for 48 years, I've poured my heart into you. I worked nights so you could have days of plenty. I gave when I had little, because a mother's love knows no bounds. But love should be reciprocal, not a one-way street. The eviction notice wasn't funny. It was a revelation. You've seen me as a burden, not a blessing. I've sold my music studio, the one from my singing days you never knew about. It funded much of what I gave you. The rent help, $30,000 over years. Car repairs, kids' activities, no more. The automatic transfers stop today. Your inheritance, redirected to a scholarship fund for young musicians. I'm moving to Asheville to mentor artists and live the life I paused for you. If you want me back, earn it. Visit without expectation. Call because you care. Show the grandkids what real family means. With love always, Mom." To Sarah.